Sometimes life is ridiculous, and sometimes it's just real. These are 5 true Reddit stories, the kind that make you shake your head, laugh under your breath, or think, yep, that would totally happen to me. Grab your headphones, hit play while you work or clean, and let's get into it. Story 1. So I go on this date with this girl I met through a friend of a friend. We sit down, things seem normal, until she pulls out her phone and FaceTimes someone. No explanation, just props the phone up like it's part of the table setting. Turns out it's her best friend, and she stays on FaceTime the entire meal. They're talking about outfits, laughing about inside jokes, ignoring me like I'm the third wheel on my own date. And then, get this, the friend starts ordering food too, through the phone. Oh, get me the shrimp pasta, I want to try that. The girl just smiles and goes, haha, yeah, we'll split it. Right, babe? I sat there stunned, and yes, I still paid. For both of them. The friend even waved at me through the phone as I handed over my card and said, thanks, King. I never texted her again. I don't even remember what I ate. I just remember the shrimp pasta. Story 2. I used to work at this small retail shop that sold overpriced candles and mugs with quotes like, slay your day. My boss, let's call her Cheryl, started acting weird, giving me side-eye, double counting the register after my shifts. One day she pulls me into the office and says, we need to talk about the shrinkage. Now I'm like, shrinkage? Ma'am, this isn't a Seinfeld episode. She thought I was stealing because inventory was off. I told her I hadn't taken anything, but she didn't believe me. 2 days later, she shows me security footage. Turns out the thief was her sister. She'd been visiting the store during my shifts and casually walking out with candles, essential oils, and once, an entire Buddha statue. Cheryl just stared at the screen. I didn't ask for an apology. I just said, so, am I still on the schedule next week? The next week, there was a gift bag in my locker with a candle that said, Namaste Calm. I quit 2 weeks later. Story 3. I was working at a startup that tried way too hard to be cool. Kombucha on tap, beanbag chairs, a CEO who wore hoodies like he invented tech. One day during a company-wide Zoom, the CEO shows up unexpectedly. I thought I was muted. I leaned over to my friend and said, if she Slack messages me about font sizes one more time, I'm gonna quit this job live on camera. Except I wasn't muted. The room goes silent. The CEO laughs and says, well, I guess we should talk about that. Next day, I get called into HR, not to get fired, to get promoted. Turns out the CEO agreed with me. He reassigned me, gave me a new team, and said, we appreciate honesty here, but maybe check your mute button next time. I've never trusted Zoom since. Story 4. Each unit in our complex had 2 spots. My neighbor Steve had 3 cars, and 0 respect for boundaries. He constantly parked into my space, so I started leaving notes. He ignored them, so I escalated. I bought traffic cones, then zip-tied them. Then added a fake, reserved for HOA use only sign. Steve moved his car, but then parked close again. So I waited until it rained. Then poured flour around his tires, so when he pulled out, it left a crime scene chalk outline of how far into my space he was. Next day, he got a notice from the HOA. Steve moved out 3 months later. The new neighbor parks like a dream. Story 5. College class. Group discussion. The professor asks, what's one thing that's been on your mind lately? Everyone gets real deep. One person talks about their future. Another about their mental health. It's my turn. I panic. I say, I've been thinking about squirrels. Dead silence. Everyone stares. I try to recover. Like, do they get embarrassed when they fall out of trees? Or do they just move on? Still silence. The professor nods like I've just shared a trauma. For the rest of the semester, people called me Squirrel Guy. I graduated with honors and a reputation for pondering rodent shame. Thanks for spending time with us. If one of these stories reminded you of your own life, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories from the internet's weirdest corners.